Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be setting up my February setup again with you, but this time in real time. So this is something that I used to do when the pandemic hit the world, where I would create real-time bullet journal setups for people that would journal with someone else, but at the time they couldn't. So I was like their bujo companion. And I decided to bring those back in 2025 to just keep you company and so you have someone to bullet journal with. And in some of these videos, I just leave you with some lo-fi music. Others, I will talk about different topics that I want to talk about. And today, I'm actually going to answer some questions that you left me on Instagram and on my YouTube community. If you prefer the shorter version of the setup, is going to be linked in the description below. So without further ado, let's get started with my theme and my setup for February. So my theme for February was candy hearts, and I wanted to redo this theme again in my own style this time because I created this theme, I think it was in 2021, and I really enjoyed the collection that I created, but I felt like that aesthetic was not my aesthetic right now, so I decided to just redesign them. And I created this new collection with 3 different sticker sheets, a sticker flake, a postcard, and I'm going to show you most of them throughout this setup. And if you would like to see the whole collection, you can go at catsplanner.com or check the link in the description. So in this video, I'm going to answer the questions that you sent me over on Instagram and on YouTube. And if you'd like to add something to the conversation, you can by commenting in the video below. If you'd like to ask me anything else, feel free to do it in the comments as well, that I will answer it afterwards. And I'm also going to talk about the theme itself and all the pages that I did. So let's get started. So the first question is a juicy one, which is about pen paling. So on my channel, I create pen pal videos, even though that is not the main theme of my channel anymore. It's more like bullet journal and studio vlogs, but I still like to do pen paling, and I have 2 videos filmed about pen paling that I'm going to post soon. But the first question is, how many pen pals do I have? So I started pen paling in January 2020 when the whole pandemic hit. I felt like I needed to start pen paling. It was the best time because everyone was at home. And so I opened my PO box where you can send stuff if you want to. And I had a lot of pen pals at the time. I think my peak was 30 pen pals at a time. And of course that I wasn't writing 30 pen pals a month, but it was something really coherent, and I had 30 pen pals at one point, which is too much. I still exchange letters with some of those pen pals, but most of them are gone because people change, people change their habits, they stop communicating through letters, they stop writing back, and so, yeah, some of the pen pals that I had were just gone, terminated. And so nowadays, I think I have around 10 pen pals. I have 3 pen pals that are from my Ko-Fi memberships. I have a tier where you can be my pen pal, and another tier that you have all of the perks that I offer plus being my pen pal. So 3 of them are from my Ko-Fi memberships, and the rest is just people that I still like to connect with, or new people that I find interesting that do pen paling, and we exchange letters. When I started with the whole pen paling thing, I was exchanging letters with mostly viewers from YouTube, but that started to be very pricey, and I just got a lot of work to do, so I couldn't write letters all the time, and so I had to cut down on my pen pals. And to this day, I still receive letters from viewers, but I appreciate that some of them write that I don't need to write them back. I just need to let them know that I got their letter, which is something I actually appreciate because I feel really bad when someone writes to me and I cannot afford to write them back. I know that it's not like very expensive to write a letter back, but usually a person that writes you a letter wants an exchange. And if I write a letter back to everyone that has ever written to me, I have to write like around 50 letters. So I decided to not do that, which is sad, and I don't like to do that, but I cannot open exceptions. So that is my current state with pen paling. I love pen paling because it's something really old to do. I feel like it's really raw and personal to do. It's when you sit down, you write a letter to someone, you send the letter, and they receive something that you did with your hands. And that type of thing is really impressive to me, and it's really personal, and I like that type of stuff. it's not the same thing when you actually like DM someone and they reply to you. That's really impersonal. I don't like that. And so writing letters to viewers is amazing. And I currently do that more often with my Ko-Fi members. And I send them like updates about my life, things that I've been enjoying, everything about that it's like more personal to me. And they write me back on the same line of thought, and it's amazing to know how other people's lives are going through letters. It feels like we are in the Middle Ages. And to my Ko-Fi members, I also send them the monthly postcard, so they have like a little souvenir from me every month. But yeah, that is my pen pal situation at the moment. I would love to have more time for pen pals, but I can only afford to have time for the ones that are actually my Ko-Fi members. So I'm really grateful to anyone that signs up for my Ko-Fi and wants to be my pen pal, because that means the world to me. For my other pen pals that are not from Ko-Fi, I still write them, but not with the same frequency as my Ko-Fi members, because they are not on Ko-Fi. They are just my fun pen pals. But I have a few people that I still find really interesting, and we exchange letters and exchange stationery. And it's just really fun to have little gifts from someone across the world from you every month. So I really enjoy pen paling. And the same person that asked me this question also asked me to do more pen pal videos. And I have planned to do that, but that is not my focus for my channel this year, unfortunately. I still want to post pen pal with me videos on my channel, and I have two filmed, like I mentioned, but it's not my fully focus right now because filming pen pal videos takes me hours and a lot of energy. So I don't do it that often, but I also like to promote my Ko-Fi memberships, so that is a win-win situation for me. I just don't do them as often as I used to do. I feel like a lot of people are also discovering what pen paling is in 2025, and I want to be part of that community as much as I can. So, if you would like to have a pen pal, I'm going to leave some posts of a pen pal share post in the description below, and I'm going to also have my Ko-Fi tiers at the description of this video as well for you to sign up if you want to be my pen pal. And also, my PO box is always at the every description of my videos. So if you'd like to send me something or just have my address, it's in the description of this video as well. Now, going back to my theme for February in my bullet journal, I decided to create this ribbon type of calligraphy for the title. And this was something that I saw on Pinterest and that I immediately fell in love with because I love wearing red bows in my hair. It's one of the elements of my brand CATSPlanner, and it's also something that I like to use a lot. And I actually used one on my hair when I got married. So red bows, it's a really prominent thing in my life. And so I decided to add this type of calligraphy for the title, and it's a really hard thing to explain how I did it. But imagine that one of the sides of the ribbon is shiny, and it's the front of all the letters, and the back part of the ribbon it's more on the darker side, and that is going to be the back part of all the letters. And I did this shiny and darker color theme because I wanted to have that sort of perspective on the ribbon, and I used two different markers for this. I'm thinking about doing like an in-depth tutorial on how to do this calligraphy style because it's really hard to explain in just a quick video. So yeah, if you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments below. But I did this beautiful ribbon calligraphy for the title, and on my cover page, I felt like only the candy hearts and the sticker flake for the quote page were a bit boring. So I was like, how can I do this more fun and interesting to look at? And that's where I decided to do more ribbons all over the page. So I had done the black border for the quote page, but I was like, this needs something extra. So I used my white marker to cover some of the black parts of that border that I created, and I did some ribbons. And some of them are on top of that border, and others are behind the border, and I think it looks much better this way. And I just drew a lot of ribbons all over the page. This is a way to take your themes and your designs into the next level when bullet journaling. This took me like an extra 15 minutes to do, but it looks so much better. Also, these stickers that I'm using are the ones for the new collection of candy hearts. One of them is this sticker flake that I created, and it's available in two different sizes. And the small hearts are from the three different types of candy hearts that I created. This time I decided to create just the plain blank candy hearts sticker sheet. I created another sticker sheet for the love quotes on candy hearts, and I thought it would be fun to have a sticker sheet with candy hearts that had mean words on them. So I created a mean quotes sticker sheet with candy hearts on them. And this sticker sheet has a lot of like swear words and mean things, and I think it's just brilliant to have a mean quotes candy hearts sticker sheet. So those are all the products that I created for this theme, and you can purchase them on my shop this weekend. Next question is about bullet journaling, and one of you asked if I have a favorite theme for my bullet journal. And I think I've been pretty good at creating themes in my bullet journal. I've been bullet journaling for 8 years, and so one of my favorite themes, I think I'm going to go backwards. So for 2024, my favorite theme was June, and it was also your guys' favorite theme. And that theme was like gothic black roses. It was the theme of our wedding. So it's my favorite theme of 2024, but it's also the more meaningful. So I loved that theme a lot. It was really easy to set up, but it was really my personal aesthetic. And in general, I just really loved that theme because of the simplicity of it. For 2023, my favorite theme was October, And all of my themes for that year were extremely minimal and not fun at all, at least for the most part of the year. I think October, November, and December 2023 themes were the more colorful and fun themes to create. But I personally really liked the October one because it was Halloween themed and we did a bunch of activities and I had a lot of extra pages in my bullet journal. So I think that was my favorite theme for 2023. For 2022 was July because I decided to do like a rainbow collage scrapbooking thing for my theme using a bunch of pictures and stickers. And I usually try to do like an LGBT theme throughout June or July. And this time I did for July and it was so colorful and rainbow themed that it was just my favorite. For 2021 was May. This theme is actually a collection on my shop. It's the Ko-Fi collection. I did this theme based on a sticker flake that I saw from another artist. I asked them if it was okay to recreate a theme based on their sticker, which is like this Windows paint type of aesthetic with koi fishes in it and the water. And it was so beautiful that I created a sticker sheet for that, and it's one of my favorite themes of all time. But it's also my favorite theme for 2021. For 2020 was July, which is also the most viewed video on my channel, is my July 2020 bullet journal setup, which is this garden like peg board plants theme, and it's one of my favorite ones to do because it's really fun. It has a lot of different elements, a lot of different colors, and it was just one of my favorite themes of all time as well. For 2019, it was March because I created this like bees and honeycombs theme, and it's actually one of my oldest themes that I want to create as a collection for my shop, and so it's one of my favorite themes as well. 2019, it was a year where I was really creative about different things that I was doing in my life, and this one was the one that stick with me the most. It's really pretty, it's really vibrant in colors, so it's my favorite for the year. For 2017 and 2018, I didn't really had themes in my bullet journal because I was just starting out, so I didn't had any themes on those, but my favorite theme of all time, it's the Ko-Fi fish one. Just because it's my most aesthetic theme that I have, it's the one that I'm really, really proud of that I did. And so, yeah, it's my favorite because of that. Pretty simple. I have a lot of fun creating themes, and I'm always on the lookout for new theme ideas. And that's why I also try to create different themes every month and an extra video every month for you to have different themes in your bullet journal. So stay tuned for the February one, and if you didn't watch the January one that I posted, it's going to be linked in the description box as well. Now, in the meantime that I'm setting up my cover page and my dashboard for the month, I received another question that it's really interesting, which is what inspired you to create CATSPlanner? So this is something that I've talked about on my channel for a while, but I don't think it was in a proper video. It probably was in another real-time bullet journal one. But the reason why I decided to create CATSPlanner was because I was really interested in starting a YouTube channel back in 2018 of bullet journaling and stationery, and I didn't had any real ideas of what I wanted to do. I was pretty popular on Amino and Instagram at the time, and so I wanted to just, have my own platform and my own community. And I'm so glad that I started that back in 2018 because I've lived for that so much throughout all of these years, but I didn't really had the courage to move into YouTube until I discovered catnip illustrations. I've been following catnip illustrations since 2018, pretty much. And Catherine, which is the owner of Catnip, always gave me such confidence to create content like videos and such, and to put myself out there, that she was really the main inspiration that I had to create content for YouTube. And I had other inspirations alongside the bullet journal community because she doesn't do bullet journal. But to actually put yourself out there and to create a YouTube channel and be bold at that point, Catnip was my inspiration. So much so that I actually created a bullet journal for her, I think in 2020, because I wanted to gift her a present for Christmas, and that was what I was doing on YouTube, bullet journaling. So I decided to send her one made by me, and she actually used it on video, which is crazy to me. She knew that I existed. And that was how I created CATSPlanner. I decided to have this channel to share my art because I've always wanted to be an artist, but my parents always said to have a normal job and then do art as a side hustle. But I knew that I wanted more than to just post pictures on Instagram. I really wanted to make this a career if possible, and so that's why I decided to create a YouTube channel. The name CATSPlanner came because a lot of the artists that I was following had Bujo on their name, but Cat Bujo or Bujo by Cat or something like that was not just like in me. I didn't like the sound of it. Bujo was really used throughout a lot of people, and I personally don't follow anyone that has planner on their username. And I know that Bujo or bullet journal is way more like straightforward, but I didn't like how that was mixing with my own name, Cat. But Cat's planner actually stuck, and I was showing you my planner, so you're watching Cat's planner, and it made sense to me at the time, and I thought that if I couldn't find a better name with Bujo or any other thing, I would go by Cat's planner, and it stuck. Finding names for like your username and such is hard because a lot of people that I see right now have Bujo on their username, but they don't actually create Bujo content anymore. So I thought that planner was a bit more abroad and it was better for me in many ways. So that's how I created the Cat's Planner brand. And in the beginning, it was just about bullet journaling and stationery, but with time, I decided to, create more art and to actually sell products. And I opened my shop on PayHip. PayHip was my first shop, which is something that you just open for digital things, I think. And then I started selling stuff on Instagram DMs with stories and such. And then I actually created my shop on Ko-Fi, and now I have my own shop on Shopify. And I'm really, really grateful that I took all of these steps and that now I'm following my dreams because I'm doing this full time. And it's just crazy to me to think that all of this that I have now, like what I'm doing right now, filming a voiceover for a video, is something that happened because I decided to take a chance when I was 17 years old. And I decided, you know what, I want to make art even if it's not my full-time job. I want to create art, and YouTube is going to be the platform for that. I'm really grateful that I took that chance that led me to where I am right now. So that's how Cat's Planner was born. And this year I want to explore even more of Cat's Planner because there's a lot of things that I like to do. I like to cook, I like to do art, I like to do vlogs, I like to create content, I like to talk to people and connect with people and know more about who sees me and what you like. And I like pen paling and stationery and such, and creating products and having my own business. So there's a lot of things that I want to explore this year. And the first month is halfway gone. And I feel like I'm wasting time sometimes, but it's all part of the process, and I go one step at a time. And it has been feeling amazing, so I cannot wait to see what other things I create for CATSPlanner this year. For my monthly dashboard this month, I decided to have a big size, not a big size, like a medium size calendar for February, because I did a vertical smaller one for January, and I think it was not enough for me. I think it was too slim, and even though it was aesthetically pleasing and really pretty to look at, I didn't like that I didn't had a lot of space for tasks. And I think February is going to be a fuller month than January, so I want to have more space for any appointments and events and memories. On my calendars, I actually track memories and events just because I don't do that on my Google Calendar. So I also use this calendar for memories. And alongside that calendar, I'm actually having three different sections on this dashboard. One is for notes. Notes is everything that is not a to do and that needs to get taken care of this month, or something that I don't want to forget. The other one is the to do list for the month, where I write all the tasks that I have to do this month or hopefully get done this month. And the third section is for goals. And for this section, I actually use my memo pads that I created for this collection. And I'm going to have my goals here because February is going to be a month where I want to focus even more on my goals. I've been doing that for January, and one of my goals was to create a Valentine's Day collection with new products. And I did that, and I'm really grateful that I did that and that I achieved that. And it was only able because I had my goals in mind and I created systems to achieve my goals. I have a couple of rules for my shop update, but I'm not that confident about that now because selling products is hard, and I still think that I have a lot to learn about business and marketing and SEO. And so, I don't know, I think I'm going to have a good shop update, but I don't want to put any extra perspectives on it. And so this section for my goals, it's a bit bigger than the others just because I want to focus on my goals in February. Not only business goals, but personal goals as well. This month, we are actually going to have a little getaway for Valentine's Days, and we are going to just do some cozy dates at home. I think it's going to be a good month. So, yeah, I'm going to have these three sections on my dashboard, and we'll see what the future holds for February. I'm really excited for the upcoming themes on this year and for all the months of 2025. The next question is also really interesting, and I like that you guys asked questions about my current state of life right now. And the question is, what does a typical day look like to you now that you left your job? So, yeah, this question is really juicy. So as you know, I left my job back in December, and it's basically like a whole month already that I've been creating content full time. And it's really nice. It has been nice and stressful at the same time, but nice mostly. And my days have been filled with work, honestly. I had the problem of not relaxing when I was with a full time job and creating content on the side. I didn't have any time to relax or work out properly or just stay calm in life. And nowadays, I have time for that. So even though every time that I have something to do, like I'll do it on a daily basis and I create content every day and I edit videos every day and I'm constantly working, I still have time to relax. And I cannot tell you how peaceful my mind is right now. Because back when I had a job, I was working full time and I had to be focused on the job that I was doing and performing well and all that stuff. And then I only had a few periods throughout the day to enjoy content creation and planning videos and filming and stuff. And that was really stressful because I always thought that I had stuff to do and I couldn't relax. And every time that I tried to relax, I would stress out because that was time that I was wasting. It was like a big snowball effect. And my husband always motivated me to relax, to stop a little bit, to like watch a movie with him, to get a hobby that doesn't influences me like in creating content in such a way. He always motivated me to relax, but I was never able to do that because I was so stressed with how many things I had to do. And the problem with content creation is that this is a loop. You create content, you film it, you edit, you post it, but you already have to be thinking about the next one. And that loop can be very stressful and chaotic. And so now, a typical day for me is waking up early, working out in the morning to get it all done. And working out in the morning has been amazing. I've always worked out like at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., because that was when I left work, and in the morning on the weekends, and that was amazing. But now I work out first thing in the morning sometimes, and it changes how my day goes. Working out in the morning is just the best things that you can do for your health. So I work out and then I usually try to film something, either reels or brainstorm videos or a YouTube video or create something for my shop or anything like that. I always try to create things in the morning or like at lunchtime. And then in the afternoon, it's when I edit stuff, it's when I brainstorm more things, it's when I plan things, draw, and I also relax in the afternoon. Nowadays, I play the drums, which is something that my husband offered me for Christmas. He actually bought me a drum set, and I've been practicing drumming, and it's good to have a hobby that doesn't count as work. That's really amazing. I'd never had one. I've had more time to read, and it has been better because I had time to meditate today. I had time to enjoy my evening, take a nap, create content, but it's so much better now. And a typical day for me now looks like a good distribution of things. It's work, it's a bit of stress, but it's calmness. You have time to relax, you have time to eat in peace, and I'm not constantly thinking about work because the work that I do is content creation and art. So even though I think about that all the time, it's not on the run. You know what that means? Now I have time to create content on my own pace, to think and film things and edit things at my own pace because I am free all the time. And that makes a huge difference. So that's what a typical day looks like for me. And even though like I'm not earning the same as I was back at my job, obviously, but the stress of money is not as impactful as it was my stress of living life always running. And that is so important. Like now I'm a bit stressed about money than I was before, but the fact that my life is calm, it makes all the difference. So I'm really happy that I made this decision, and that's why I'm also so incredibly exciting to see what I create and where this whole change takes me this year. It's because I'm fully focusing on my shop and on my channel, and I'm trying my best to make this work. The last page on this setup is going to be my sleep and mood tracker and my habit tracker. So I did a sleep and mood tracker for January and I enjoyed using it, but it's still a bit early in the year to see if I'm actually going to use this long term or not. So I'm going to use it for February and March pretty much. And in April, I'm going to decide if I actually want to keep having this tracker in my bullet journal. And if not, I will take it off. But 3 months is normally the time that I give a page to really settle in my life and to see if it's important or not. So for this tracker, I'm going to have the days of the month at the left side, and then at the bottom, I'm going to have 0 through 10 and the smiley faces for my mood. So I'm going to use the bar graph for the sleep. So I'm going to have a bar going all the way to the hours of sleep that I slept on the day before. And the 0 through 10 is also to classify my mood, but I'm actually going to have smiley faces on there to help me idealize where my mood is because I want to classify my mood throughout the month. And so far, January has been a good month. I've had a couple of 9 days and others a bit less happy days, but it's really cool to see what I did on specific days and how my mood reflects about that. Some days I just spent at home working and my mood is on the low, and then there are days where even though I'm working, I'm with my husband at home and we have a date night and my mood is really good. So I like to classify my mood that way. And for my sleep, I just want to make sure that I'm getting at least 7 hours of sleep every night. And sometimes I want to test out sleep a bit less and take a nap to see if it works. That is something that I used to do while I was working, but now I feel like naps are not essential in my life anymore because I'm not tired all the time. So I haven't taken a lot of naps, but I've been sleeping at least 7 to 8 hours, which is amazing. And for my habit tracker on the right page, I'm going to have 4 different mini trackers, and I like to have them blank when it's like right now, like in the middle of the month. And then once I do my migration process from one month to the other, I actually decide what trackers I'm going to have. Because for January, I didn't know what habits I wanted to do. And then at the end of the year, I actually wrote down the habits that I wanted to do, and that worked out much better. So for January, I had practiced drumming because I got an electric set for Christmas. And so, I had to start practicing it. And that is something that I also want to include in February for sure. Another tracker that I've been including for months now is working out. I'm trying to take more walks this year, and so I at least try to take one walk per week, alone or with my best friend. I always try to take a walk around the block, and it's like 5 kilometers, like an hour or so, and that does it for me. But I also try to work out at the gym at least 3 times a week. So I like to track that in my habit tracker. I also have the tracker for illustrations and drawings because, as you know, I want to create more products for my shop and I want to draw more. So I can only do that if I actually keep the habit of drawing and illustrations cohesive. And so I don't draw every day, but sometimes I draw like sketches of things, and then I go into my iPad and I actually draw things, and that makes a huge difference. When it comes to like creating products and brainstorming products, that makes a huge difference. So I'm always trying to be consistent with my illustration habit. And the last habit is practicing Japanese. As you know, me and my husband went to our honeymoon in Japan last year, but we are also trying to take Japanese classes and learning Japanese, not only through Duolingo, but to actually like videos on YouTube and classes. And it has been a great experience. I think it's really nice when you try to learn a new language that you also enjoy, because when we watch anime and stuff like that, it's really funny to see the words come up on the screen and you actually know what that means. And we've been learning Japanese for all of those months, and it has been paying off. And one of our goals for this year is to actually have a conversation in Japanese between us two, which is really exciting. So, practicing Japanese has been good to just create another habit, and learning a new language is always fun. And we have the long term goal of going to Japan again and possibly live there, so that's a plus. And I've been really enjoying practicing drumming and learning Japanese without turning it into like a side hustle type of thing. And that is going to be it for my real-time setup for February. I hope you enjoyed setting up your bullet journal with me and listening to all of my answers to the questions that I received on social media. And yeah, I hope you check out my shop with the new products for the shop update. And let me know if you enjoyed this video and watched it until this point. Don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!